Hello. This is my short video. Hopefully it'll be a short video. I'm shooting for 15 minutes. So I'm a bookseller, sold old and rare books since 1979 or 1980. And my story, at least this will be part one of the story, is that I started out, before I got in the business, I bought a lot of books at auction. And when I had enough books to do some kind of event, I would do flea markets in Pennsylvania, Lahaska, Lambertville. I had a girlfriend, Suzanne, and she traveled with me, and it was fun. We had a good time, and well, we drank a lot. I still drink, but I don't drink a lot anymore. I'm an old guy now. I'm 70, I'll be 75 in about a week and a half. Hard to believe. So I was about 35, I guess, when I started this venture. And truthfully, the best part of the whole thing was the flea markets at the very beginning. And a lot of even actors and musicians will tell you the same thing, that when they first started out, it was fun. There was no pressure, it was easy. And at the time, both of us had another source of income, so you know, we were pot dealers. And so we didn't have to make a lot of money when we do a flea market, you know, on a Saturday or Sunday. You know, we do a couple hundred in the day. You know, this is in 1980 dollars. Sometimes we do 2 or 3 or 400, 500 once in a while, I guess. And then from there, we started to, we decided to do a book fair. And the first book fair I did was at the Sheraton Hotel in New York City. We were living outside Philadelphia, so we drove up, we set up at the Sheraton in their exhibit room, but we didn't get a room to stay. We drove home because the booth rent we felt was expensive, and I don't know what it was then, 150, 200 maybe. We were afraid we wouldn't make any money, so we drove home, got home at midnight, got up at 6, drove back. And we had a pretty good show. I think we did about 1,600 at the time, so in 1980 dollars, today that'd be maybe, I don't know, 4,000, 3,500. So for a couple of days, it's good money. And then we were really hooked. So we did another show at Millersville, at the State College, Millersville, Pennsylvania. We didn't do as well, but the booth rent was a lot less. So maybe there we did 7 or 8 or 900. I think the booth rent was really cheap, like $100 or less. And so again, maybe we made 1,500 in today's dollars. Then we started to do antique shows as well as book fairs. And we did Tyson's Corner. That was one of the first antique shows. It was in a mall in Tyson's Corner, Virginia. And there was another bookseller there, David and Natalie. Maybe some of you, if you're in the business, know who I'm talking about. And so we met them, and they were associates for a number of years. And I met an antique dealer there, Mike, my friend Mike, and then we did Montgomery Mall in Maryland. And Mike was set up next to me, and then we became really good friends. We drank a lot, and we got drunk. And after the show, we went to Clyde's. It's a bar. I don't know if it's there anymore, but we went there and drank some more, and we were really drunk, and then we just fled out the back door. And I do regret that, but, you know, I remember we ran up a hill to the top of a hill, and we just laid on the ground and like laughed and laughed and laughed. And we were really drunk. I don't know where my girlfriend was at that time. She probably wasn't too happy about it. So And then from there, I think we did a book fair in New York City at the Hudson School in Greenwich Village area. We did another book fair in New York at another school, more midtown, located a private school. And so I remember at the private school, I was with a different woman. So it was probably a few years later. I was with this woman, Jane, and she came up with me just for laughs and just to hang out, to see what kind of crazy thing I would do, because I was known to do that crazy things, you know. I'm 74 and I still do crazy shit. Why? Because it's fun. It's fun to be crazy. It's a more interesting life. So we did the show, I remember, on I think it was I guess we set up Friday night. We did the show Saturday, I remember. They were serving wine at the show, and it was like $1 for a little glass of wine. So I bought 2 or 3 of those, and then I thought, you know, this is bullshit. So I went over to the woman who was selling the wine, and she had a big bottle of Gallo, looks like a gallon. It was about half full or 2/3. So I said, what do you want for the whole bottle of wine? And she said, she was flustered. $5, she told me. So I said, I'll take it. I gave her $5. And then we commenced to drinking. You know, I gave some of the dealers near me some wine. And by the time we left the show, you know, we were pretty lit. We got in a cab, I remember, and I had a big doobie with me, the marijuana, in case you've been living in Bora Bora for the last 50 years. And don't know what that is. Anyway, we got in a cab and I fired up this joint, this huge joint, and the driver's like, hey man, I'm gonna get all stoned just breathing this. And anyway, he took us down around the village somewhere. We ended up at Tramps on 3rd Avenue, and it was like a blues club, and they had the Delta Blues Trio there. It's like 3 people. This really old man, really old black man, this really old black woman, and this younger guy playing keyboard. And so, you know, by the time we got there, we were pretty well halfway in the bag. We ordered drinks, and during the break, we invited the male singer over, bought him a drink or 2, and the woman saying, don't buy him any drinks. He can't have any drinks, you know, please don't buy him any drinks. You know, we bought him like 6 drinks, right? And then he got really drunk. And he's an old guy, you know, I don't know how old, but he was pretty damn old. And so he went back and tried to do a set, and you could tell he's kind of loaded. And anyway, he got through the set okay, and then he was so drunk actually, I remember at one point he was actually crawling around the floor. Crawled over to our table, and you know, and like a fool, you know, I gave him another drink or 2. His wife was really angry with us, but the young keyboard player Perry, somehow I remember his name, I don't know why, but Perry thought it was just great, you know, and Perry played a song like a tribute to Jane and I, some kind of crazy tribute, and after that things get pretty hazy, but I do remember at some point there was music playing, and I was dancing with this old guy's wife. I think her name was Eunice. I really think it was Eunice, anyway. And I remember dancing with her. She was kind of old and frail, but what I remember is she had earrings on that were like pipes. You know what I'm saying? I mean pipes, not like this kind of pipe. This is, well, you know what this is. Actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a hit, if you don't mind. And if you do mind, I'm going to anyway. Oh, that was fun. There's nothing but ash in there. I should have loaded it before this video. So anyway, this woman had pipes for earrings, but they were like tobacco pipes, like briar pipes. I mean, like this long. I have to have it. I have a drink after that. I took a mouthful of ashes. Mmm. Hmm. Oh, that'll put hair in my chest once again. Oh, that's good. 101 proof. It, by the way, Wild Turkey is a very highly rated bourbon, and it's for the 100 proof bourbon. It's like $19.99 at the drugstore. Out here, I don't know where you're from. In Arizona, drugstores and markets sell liquor, and it's great. So you don't need to spend $40 a bottle for Eagle Rare, or well, there's Knob Creek, which is maybe $32, $34. If Knob Creek's on sale, sometimes it's on sale for $24, $25, and it's really good. I really like Knob Creek, but there's really no reason to buy anything other than that. Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, I wouldn't buy that myself. So back to the story. Well, the next thing I remember is that I wake up in this hotel room, the Wentworth. I think it's on 44th Street in New York, about a block from Jewelers Row. I wake up and it's about noon or later, and I had all my clothes on, including my cowboy boots, including this leather jacket I used to wear, sport jacket. And my mouth was all dry, you know, and there's Jane sitting up on her bed, and I'm like, what happened? Well, she said, she got me home, or not home, but to the hotel. So then we went back to the show. Well, the show had been on already, you know, for 2 or 3 hours, and my booth was empty, but my neighbors had collected money for book sales for me. So we walked up to the booth, and they handed me checks and cash for the books of mine that were sold. So it ended up being a good show. Not a great show, but an average show. And we did the Baltimore Convention Center, Frank Farbenblum, promoter. I did that with Mike, my antique friend Mike. And afterwards we went to the Block in Baltimore. Well, if you don't know Baltimore, the Block, if it's still there, it's a whole block of strip clubs, and so that's where we went. And we went to one of the strip clubs, and we had a lot of cash on us. And at the clubs, there's strippers up behind the bar on like a little stage, but they also have what's called B-girls, and they hang around the bar. And what they do is they're scantily dressed, and they come right up to you, and they want you to buy them what they call a split, and it comes in a little bottle. And so of course you agree to do it. You know, they're really pretty young girls. And so the split, I don't think it has any alcohol in it. And it's like a lot of money. It's like $8, you know, and $1985. And so you buy them a split, and they hang on you. They'll sit in your lap. And so I bought a couple of them, the split, and my friend Mike is next to me. And I see him, I mean, really throwing $100 bills at these girls. He had like 5 or 6 of them hanging all over him. And I don't know how much money he blew that night. But it was fun. You know, it's memories. It's crazy shit. Would I do it today? Would I do it again? Well, there's strip clubs in Tucson, and I've been to some of them, not recently. But would I do it? I don't know. But I have a wonderful woman that lives with me here. Her name's Carol. And Carol is, really the best housemaid a guy could ever want. She's very cool, really cool lady. When I met her, she was in prison in Tucson for marijuana possession. And today she has a medical marijuana card, 20 years later. And she's really I can't say enough for Carol. So I don't think about looking for any other woman. You know, I think she's really very pretty. She's 20 years younger than me, and she's strong. She can lift heavy stuff that I can't lift. If I want her to beat some guy up, she'll do it, you know. So, not that I often ask her to do that. So I don't want her to end up back in prison, and she doesn't want to end up there either. Anyway, so I met her in prison because around 2000 to 2004, I had an inmate art project. I sold art for prison inmates. A lot of really cool art. Met a lot of really cool people, and gallery owners in Tucson. We put on shows of inmate art. I sold it on the internet, and Carol was one of the artists. She sent me some work, and then she was released not too long after that. And I wrote her a letter. I said, let's get together, let's meet, I'll buy you lunch, you know, and help you find work if you want, whatever. And that's what happened, you know, and then we just became friends, you know, because we had a lot in common, you know. I mean, she was, you know, technically a criminal, I guess, because marijuana wasn't legal then. And yeah, I'm really a criminal too, in a lot of ways. I just haven't gotten caught at anything. And well, back in the 80s, late 80s, yeah, with my uncle, his name was Mel, he and I brought in coke directly from Colombia. And so we were traffickers, really. And we bought in really great coke. I mean, it was the best coke, right from Colombia, and it would come as a rock, like this big. And we set up all night with a single edge razor, you know, going shaving it to powder. And then it was my duty to, you know, find the clients for that, which wasn't hard. You know, back then we all thought coke was harmless, and it kind of is, but it's addicting, you know. So what happened was Mel got somebody got caught with it, and they dimed him, and the cops made him wear a wire. And the bottom line is Mel went to prison for a year. He would have done a lot more time, because that's trafficking. He could have done 20, but he only did a year. You know, I didn't get implicated in it at all, so that was good. But I wouldn't do it again, you know. I wouldn't take coke today, but not at this age, you know. I could have a fatal heart attack. But I did love doing coke, you know, coke and whiskey. Yeah, I do coke, and then you know, I do some of this, and then I'd be right where I wanted to be. And when we go down to the casinos, you know, we play blackjack or roulette, and you know, I go to the bar, have a drink, you know, go into the bathroom, you know, do another line of coke. I carried around a little amber bottle with a little spoon, you know, in my pocket, you know, so I could just keep going. You know, we do the casino till 3 in the morning, and then we drive back from Atlantic City back to Philly, and so that's part of my story anyway, with the my book selling experience. And I still sell some books. I used to sell books that were at least $100, or say at least $50 or $60 to $100, and or more. But today I keep some books as an affiliate seller on Amazon. I keep I don't know, I have 300 books or so, $15 books, $20, $25 books. That's what I sell, just to keep my hand in it a little bit. And I do appraisals. That's where I make a living, is I do appraisals. My website, if you need a book appraisal, is booksappraised.com. That's booksappraised.com. And if you go there, there's a lot of information on appraisals. You know, I do them for tax purposes and donations. I do them for insurance, probate, divorce, you know, whatever you want, or you just want to know what they're worth. So that's my story, at least part one of it. If I feel so inclined, I'll do a part two. I hope maybe somebody out there knows me. You know, if you've been in the business and you're still alive, maybe you know me. If so, you know, write a comment below. I see there's a movie out called The Booksellers, and I don't know if it's to me it doesn't look very interesting. You know, they're basically they're basically treating booksellers that are more or less like normal, whereas I'm anything but that. Even today, really, I'm anything but normal. You know, normal. Who wants normal? Normal is boring. So I'm also a musician. I play guitar. I have about 240 videos on YouTube. They're not all me singing. I have maybe 40 of them of me playing guitar and singing different songs. And my intention at this point is, and I've already registered for America's Got Talent. Not that I'm that talented, but I'm going to try it. Why not? So you may see me there one day, you know, with Howie and Heidi Flume or whatever her name is. You may see Heidi come up and hug me on television, maybe. So there you go. There you go. That's me in the book business. And not everyone, in fact, most people don't do it my way. But I did it my way. And that made me happy. So whatever you do, let it make you happy.